XDC holders, crypto investors, and anyone following blockchain innovation, brace yourselves. What's happening with XDC right now isn't just another price pump or a viral social media trend. This is the kind of development that could completely eclipse every memecoin in the market, and it's all rooted in real-world utility, enterprise adoption, and tangible blockchain solutions. Think about it. Memecoins thrive on hype. They rise and fall based on social chatter, viral posts, or community sentiment, but they rarely deliver real-world applications. XDC, on the other hand, has been quietly building a network with practical use cases in finance, trade finance, supply chain, and cross-border payments. While the market has been distracted by flashy memes, XDC has been creating infrastructure that banks, corporations, and enterprise platforms can actually rely on. Now, everything is aligning. Strategic partnerships, network upgrades, and growing institutional interest are converging in a way that could catapult XDC into a position of dominance, not just as a token, but as a critical utility network. The adoption curve we're seeing isn't speculative, it's measurable, real, and accelerating. Here's the kicker. For anyone still focused on memecoins, this is the moment to pay attention. Because when utility meets adoption, price momentum follows, and tokens with real-world value start leaving meme-driven assets in the dust. XDC is entering that phase. Stick with me until the end, because I'm going to break down exactly why XDC's real utility is about to take over, what specific developments are driving this surge, and why this could be one of the most important moments for the token in years. Before we dive in, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss updates on XDC and other high-impact crypto projects. Share this with anyone holding XDC, or even memecoin investors who need to understand why utility is about to dominate the market. XDC's foundational utility. Why it's different from memecoins. Unlike memecoins that rely purely on hype, jokes, or viral trends, XDC was designed from the ground up as a practical, enterprise-ready blockchain solution. Its core purpose is to solve real-world problems, particularly in areas like trade finance, cross-border payments, and corporate supply chains. This is the kind of utility that institutional players, banks, and large-scale enterprises can adopt without hesitation. At the heart of XDC is speed, scalability, and cost efficiency. Transactions on the XDC network settle in seconds, with extremely low fees, making it a viable solution for businesses handling high-volume payments. Unlike traditional banking systems that can take days to clear international transfers, XDC enables near-instant settlement, reducing friction and opening up opportunities for enterprises that need fast, reliable liquidity. One of the most compelling aspects of XDC is its hybrid blockchain architecture. By combining both public and private blockchain elements, XDC allows enterprises to maintain confidentiality and regulatory compliance while still benefiting from transparency and security. For example, a company can securely record transactional data on a private ledger while interacting with partners or regulators through a public ledger. This dual functionality is something memecoins cannot provide, making XDC a fundamentally different asset class. Additionally, XDC's network is built to support smart contracts, tokenization of assets, and programmable payments. This means businesses can automate processes like invoices, trade agreements, and digital asset issuance, cutting down on manual errors and operational costs. It's not just a currency, it's a full infrastructure for corporate digital finance. Another crucial advantage is interoperability. XDC integrates easily with existing financial systems, banks, and fintech platforms. Unlike memecoins, which have limited real-world adoption, XDC can plug into corporate workflows, enabling cross-border payments, remittances, and supply chain finance in ways that traditional systems struggle to match. The takeaway here is clear. XDC was not created for speculation or memes. Its utility is strategically engineered to meet enterprise needs, with speed, low costs, scalability, and compliance built into its DNA. This foundation sets it apart from any memecoin in the market, positioning XDC as a serious player in institutional blockchain adoption. What truly sets XDC apart from memecoins is not just its architecture. It's the real-world adoption and strategic partnerships that give the network tangible value. While memecoins rise and fall on hype alone, XDC is steadily building a foundation that institutions, banks, and enterprises can actually rely on. XDC has been forming key partnerships with financial institutions, fintech platforms, and trade networks that are actively exploring the blockchain for cross-border payments and trade finance solutions. These partnerships are not just for testing. They're designed to integrate XDC into day-to-day operations, enabling faster, cheaper, and more transparent transactions. For example, corporations dealing with international suppliers can now leverage XDC to streamline payments, reduce settlement times, and lower transaction fees, something Memecoins simply cannot do. Another major adoption driver is tokenization of assets. Companies are using XDC to create digital representations of real-world assets like invoices, bonds, and commodities. These tokenized assets can be transferred instantly and securely across borders, unlocking liquidity that previously required cumbersome intermediaries and slow processing times. As more enterprises recognize these efficiencies, the demand for XDC as a functional utility token grows, creating real network effects that Memecoins cannot replicate. XDC's adoption is also supported by integration with existing financial infrastructure. Unlike Memecoins, which often exist solely on exchanges, XDC can be seamlessly integrated with corporate ERP systems, banks' internal ledgers, and cross-border payment corridors. This interoperability makes it far easier for institutions to experiment, pilot, and eventually scale blockchain solutions using XDC. And the results are tangible. Multiple companies across Asia, Europe, and North America are already leveraging XDC to reduce friction in international trade, automate payments, and settle transactions instantly. These early wins are significant because each successful implementation validates the network's utility and encourages other institutions to follow suit. Finally, regulatory clarity is another factor driving adoption. XDC is designed with compliance in mind, providing transparency and traceability that make it easier for institutions to adopt without legal risk. This positions XDC not just as a digital asset, but as a trusted tool for enterprise-scale blockchain applications. The takeaway here is clear. XDC is no longer an emerging token. It's actively being used in real-world scenarios where Memecoins can't compete. Its partnerships, adoption, and integration with enterprise systems are creating a utility-driven ecosystem that's poised to accelerate faster than speculative tokens. Network upgrades, scalability, and technical momentum. One of the biggest reasons XDC is positioned to eclipse Memecoins is its robust technical infrastructure and ongoing network upgrades. While Memecoins rely on hype and social virality, XDC is focused on creating a scalable, reliable, and enterprise-ready blockchain that can handle the demands of real-world business applications. At the core of XDC's advantage is its high throughput and near-instant transaction speeds. The network can process thousands of transactions per second, with settlements completing in mere seconds. For enterprises and financial institutions, this means they can move large volumes of money quickly, efficiently, and without the bottlenecks seen in traditional banking or slower blockchain networks. This speed isn't just a convenience, it's a game-changer for liquidity and cash flow management, which are critical in corporate operations and cross-border trade. XDC also continues to invest in network security and reliability. For institutions, security is paramount. XDC's hybrid architecture combines public transparency with private, permission layers, allowing companies to maintain confidentiality while still benefiting from blockchain's immutable and secure ledger. Recent upgrades have enhanced consensus mechanisms, reduced latency, and improved fault tolerance, making the network more resilient under high-demand conditions. These technical improvements directly support enterprise adoption, building confidence that XDC can handle mission-critical applications. Another key factor is smart contract functionality and programmability. XDC enables enterprises to automate processes such as invoices, payments, and compliance checks. By embedding logic directly into transactions, companies can eliminate manual steps, reduce errors, and streamline operations. Unlike Memecoins, which often lack these capabilities, XDC provides a platform for real business solutions, positioning itself as a backbone for future enterprise blockchain applications. Scalability is also a major focus. XDC is designed to grow with increasing demand, ensuring that as more institutions adopt the network, performance remains consistent. This forward-looking approach is critical because institutional adoption is not incremental. It can come in waves. XDC's technical foundation is built to absorb massive usage while maintaining speed, security, and cost-effectiveness, something Memecoins are not equipped to handle. Finally, interoperability continues to expand XDC's utility. The network is compatible with other blockchains and financial systems, allowing seamless integration with existing infrastructure. Banks, fintech platforms, and corporate systems can interact with XDC without needing to rebuild their workflows from scratch. This interoperability reduces friction for adoption and further strengthens XDC's position as a utility-driven network poised for widespread enterprise use. In short, XDC's technical upgrades, scalability, smart contract capabilities, and enterprise-focused architecture create a foundation that Memecoins can't touch. The network isn't just operational. It's optimized for real-world use cases that drive adoption, utility, and long-term relevance in the blockchain space. Institutional adoption and strategic momentum. Now we get to the part that truly separates XDC from Memecoins. Institutional adoption and strategic momentum. While Memecoins are fueled by social media hype and speculative trading, XDC is steadily being integrated into real-world financial and enterprise ecosystems, giving it a level of credibility and utility that cannot be matched by hype-driven tokens. Institutional adoption is accelerating because banks, fintech platforms, and multinational corporations are beginning to recognize the advantages of XDC's network. Its speed, low fees, scalability, and compliance-friendly architecture make it an ideal solution for cross-border payments, trade finance, and corporate liquidity management. Early pilot programs are already underway, with financial institutions testing XDC for instant settlements, automated invoicing, and tokenized assets. Each successful implementation adds momentum and confidence, encouraging more institutions to explore XDC as a functional, long-term solution. Partnerships are playing a crucial role in this acceleration. XDC has strategically aligned itself with enterprise platforms, trade networks, and technology providers, creating an ecosystem that promotes adoption at scale. Unlike Memecoins, which rely purely on retail investor interest, XDC's growth is institution-driven, meaning adoption isn't limited to speculation. It's anchored in real business operations. As these partnerships expand and mature, the network effect compounds, making XDC more valuable not just as a token, but as an operational tool that enterprises depend on. Another key factor driving momentum is the expansion of XDC's utility across multiple industries. Beyond trade finance, XDC is being explored for supply chain management, stablecoin issuance, and cross-border corporate payments. Each new application strengthens the network's position, creating multiple avenues for adoption and utility. This is a stark contrast to Memecoins, which typically lack intrinsic value or functionality and can disappear as quickly as they appear. Regulatory clarity also plays a role in XDC's institutional rise. Its network is designed to support compliance, reporting, and auditing needs, reducing barriers for corporate adoption. Institutions can integrate XDC into their systems knowing they're operating within a framework that supports transparency and governance, a level of assurance that Memecoins cannot provide. The takeaway here is simple but profound. XDC's real-world utility, strategic partnerships, technical foundation, and institutional momentum are all aligning to create a network that is not only functional but poised for exponential growth. Its adoption is accelerating in ways that Memecoins cannot compete with, and the trajectory we're seeing now suggests that XDC's utility and influence are only going to expand from here. By positioning itself as a practical, enterprise-ready blockchain, XDC is eclipsing speculative tokens and establishing itself as a cornerstone in institutional crypto adoption. This is the phase where utility wins over hype, and XDC is leading the charge. Why XDC's utility dominates Memecoins. So here's the bottom line. XDC is not just another cryptocurrency riding waves of hype or social media trends. Its real-world utility, enterprise adoption, technical upgrades, and strategic partnerships are building a network that is sustainable, scalable, and trusted by institutions. While Memecoins may spike and crash in minutes, XDC is steadily positioning itself as a serious, functional asset with lasting relevance. What makes this truly significant is that XDC is addressing real problems that enterprises and financial institutions face every day. From cross-border payments to trade finance, supply chain management, and tokenized assets, XDC provides tangible solutions that improve efficiency, reduce costs, and increase transparency. These are not speculative benefits. They're measurable, operational advantages that create long-term demand for the network. If you've been following crypto, it's clear that hype alone can't sustain a token. Memecoins may get headlines and social media attention, but without practical use, they fizzle. XDC is different. Its foundation is built on utility, adoption, and integration, which means its growth is organic and supported by real-world activity. Every partnership, every integration into corporate workflows, every bank or fintech testing the network, compounds the value and credibility of XDC. This is why now is such a critical moment. The institutional momentum behind XDC is only accelerating. As more companies and financial institutions recognize the advantages of fast, secure, low-cost transactions, and the ability to tokenize assets, XDC's network becomes stronger, more resilient, and more indispensable. Unlike Memecoins, whose relevance depends on sentiment, XDC's relevance is built on practical, structural adoption that compounds over time. If you're holding XDC, or even considering adding it to your portfolio, it's essential to understand that we're entering a phase where real-world utility outweighs speculative hype. Monitoring partnerships, network upgrades, and adoption milestones will give you insight into the trajectory of this network. This isn't just about price action. It's about positioning yourself in a token that is solving problems at scale and attracting institutional attention. So here's what you should do. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on XDC developments, crypto adoption trends, and enterprise-level blockchain news. Share this video with anyone holding XDC or even friends caught up in Memecoin hype so they can see why real-world adoption is becoming the true driver of long-term growth. Remember, XDC's story is only beginning. The foundation is in place, the momentum is building, and the real-world use cases are multiplying. This is the stage where utility dominates speculation, and those who understand the network's purpose and potential will be ahead of the curve. Stay informed, stay strategic, and watch how XDC continues to eclipse Memecoins in relevance, adoption, and long-term impact.